Super.
What's up? We just got nominated for best gaming podcast of the year, as well as
just best podcast.
The best only podcast on the internet award too. So
did we just bribe Jeff Keighley?
We won.
No, we went above Jeff Keighley. All right,
Okay.
to the people that
To the fans, to you, you're above Jeff Keighley, okay?
people that vote on Jeff Keighley, whether or not he's doing a good job, we went to them.
Yeah, we don't need Jeff. We go to the people. This is the People's Choice Awards, okay? This is what we believe in here.
I am Jank, the despised one, otherwise known as
Yeah.
Josh Peterson. I'm joined here by a little a taut young lad, little boy,
Yeah.
baby boy,
Lovable baby boy Brank, of course. Yes, back from the day ready to break some bread. It's been a while since I've seen your lovable boys' faces, and I've been missing talking about this gaming news with you guys. I'm excited that we won the award today. We're doing Game Awards early, so we just won for greatest podcast of all time. Not even video game. So
Yeah.
not video game category was what we
self-nominated, fan voted. That's it.
We got the fans.
We're also joined here by our other pal. Who we got here?
I am Other Pal. How are you?
Other pal. Hey, pal. Hey, bud.
Joining us from Pal World.
Pal World, the soon-to-be closed game, or
Well, actually, no. In all actuality, if you take a look at it, actually, I was big shout out to Sifted. They broke down as far as what was going on with it, and it's only $60,000. I guess that's in question. Is what Nintendo sued them for. So,
oh wait, they only got $50,000.
well, they're only suing for that's the amount they're suing for. Whether it's for a precedent for something else, or if it means to a larger road or path for Nintendo when they're suing them. I don't know why, but yeah, according to Sifted, as far as their show is concerned, when they were talking about it, it is somewhere in the neighborhood of $60,000 or $66,000 in regards to what Nintendo is suing Power for. And regarding the throwing, as we talked about before on the show, the throwing mechanics in Power World. So again, maybe it's more, like I said, a precedent thing, and just change it from a ball to something else. I don't know. Yeah.
But part of that is they want the game shut down, though. They don't just want them to change the mechanics. They want the game shut down. But also, like, this is like trying to patent the little circle thing in a first-person shooter. It's just,
but it's not money that they're after. If base it off of that, strictly and solely off of their whatever's listed on that.
Yeah, and it is crazy to think that they actually patented all this stuff after Pal World was released. The first patent was patented March 5th of 2024. That's
now
the
streamer. The streamer that they got last week, they're throwing the book at him financially. Yeah. Yes. Now that's a different story. That's, I think, well over $1 million for his illegal streams of what was he doing? Games that were Nintendo games that were gotten in advance. I guess he was streaming them. So yeah, they are nailing him, I think, well over $1 million on that one.
Like putting out the welcome mat for a lawsuit, that one.
Yes. Nintendo likes to send messages. So
here's what I think is going to happen. Pal World Pocket Pair is going to Sony's going to lawyer them up hard, and I think they're going to come out victorious in this one.
Okay.
That's my prediction. You heard it here first.
We're gonna deny your prediction. Sorry, it's overruled. You don't get to predict that anymore.
Phil Spencer will come in and save the day.
Phil Spencer's gonna buy up Nintendo, and then Power World will make the next Pokemon game. This is so it is.
How are you guys feeling about that handheld that was announced last week? I guess we kind of already knew it was gonna happen, but they said that it's for, like, he confirmed that it's happening.
Years away, though.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he said it was years away is what really killed it for me, right? Like, I mean, by the time it's out, we're going to be probably on a Steam Deck 2 for sure, because that's probably a year or two away. And then we might even be on the PS6, which is supposed to also have a portable factor, right? So why be the last one to the market with this thing that could actually set aside Xbox in a way, right? Like, because currently the only people doing handhelds are Nintendo and the PC market, right? Steam Decks, Alienwares, all those. But Xbox is still a console name, and I think that still means something. So I think it has a chance of doing some real damage if it came out soon. But the fact that they're like, oh, it's gonna be multiple years away, it's like, okay, well then why? What are you doing? Like this is not important to even like let people speculate this far in advance. Somebody else is going to come and eat your lunch.
Well, I know we're going to discuss Xbox, and of course, like you said, that the fact that they are looking at more studios, the fact that they are not done with consoles.
Yep.
Some of this was very encouraging. What he said. Yes, of course, the handheld that was kind of a bummer, but the fact that they're looking to continue in the space, and not leaving anytime soon. They are the red line comment. I'm over and done with it. I was hard as far as you got to stay exclusive. You got to stay exclusive. At this point, Xbox, I guess, for sustainable business model, especially after you spend almost $70 billion on Activision, do what you need to do to get the money back. And if it means crossing that red line, I guess his comment was paraphrasing that there's no red line now about any of our IPs going to alternate platforms, i.e. Halo going to PlayStation, Gears of War going to PlayStation, what have you. So that's fine. At this point, just make your money wherever you can to keep the Xbox name alive. And if it keeps Game Pass going, that's fine. That's fine. Just, we're coming to the point where PlayStation's going to be doing it in within a decade anyways.
I have a dream that one day I could play Cameo Elements of Power on the Xbox and the PlayStation. All right. And possibly the Nintendo. I want to go all three of them. All right.
I do think we'll see Cameo Elements of Power and Rare Replay on Nintendo Switch at some point. I don't think that's a far off.
So that actually be like, I enjoyed that game.
I'm surprised that Rare Replay isn't currently on Steam. So Microsoft's gone pretty hard all in on PC, but Rare Replay is one of the few titles that is still like exclusive. And honestly, it's one of the best titles ever. It was a $30 title that came with 25 games or whatever at launch. It was such a crazy release when it happened. But yeah, made me love some Rare Replay.
Ooh. All right, boys. So let's talk a little bit about what we've been up to this week. Not really a lot of updates here. I talked to Gerald a little bit. Branky Poo, we were talking last time about Call of Duty.
Okay.
Blop 6.
Blop 6. Yeah. So I downloaded it. I actually downloaded. I remember you talking about how you gotta like tick the boxes and make sure you don't over.
You got to go to the manage so you don't have like Modern Warfare 3 and Modern Warfare 2 and all the multiplayers, because that's 300 gigabytes of game or something like that.
Lot. Yeah, but so I went through. I'm not gonna play the multiplayer. Like I
really
unchecked. Yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna have time to do it. So maybe I will one day, but I'm gonna do the campaign first. So I downloaded the campaign. I downloaded the other two campaigns that it came with. And I'm hoping one day I'm going to get a chance to play all of them. But Black Ops 6 campaign so far has been really good. And I made this comment to Gerald last week that I forgot how intentionally designed the shooting system is in Call of Duty. Like you have to have it's not just a circle, it's a little red dot has to be like right on your target in order to hit them. And you still get that like that recoil where the gun flies up. And Halo or Overwatch or any of these other like modern shooters that we've been playing for all these years, it just has to be within the vicinity of the circle. And that's why Call of Duty is like, it's so precise. And I think that's why I'm having such a difficult time trying to like hone in on that a little bit, because I'm just so used to like running and go everywhere. But this is going to make me a better first person shooter player.
Okay.
I'm hoping it does.
I said I liked it because it's reminds me a little bit of Borderlands, where you have, as far as just the interesting gun combinations that you can go ahead just on the ground, pick up anything, and it just like pops up, bing, bing. Do I want this one? Bing. Sometimes I catch myself in a firefight and I'm like, oh, am I supposed to be doing something? I'm trying to pick a gun here. Can you guys like hold on a second here? And it's like, okay. It's like gunfire everywhere. And I'm just like, oh, sorry, guys. Grenade. Boom. I'm dead because I was trying to pick up.
Yeah, it is a very unforgiving campaign. Like, I am tempted to turn on to easy. I've heard a lot of people say just go and get on easy because it is funner when you're playing like a James Bond game, right? And it is less fun when you're getting killed from like grenades that you can't see and you're walking. You know what I mean? It's still a great game, but I will say that's the one thing I don't love.
You guys, with the PlayStation 5 Pro, hearing any issues yet? Because I'm hearing quite a few out there.
Yeah, I don't know anyone who owns one, so I haven't heard any firsthand. Like, there was a hot minute where I almost bought it because GameStop was giving $300 for the PS5s to trade in. And then I forgot what else there was, but there was another thing where you could get GameStop credit for 20% off. So I was like, oh, do I do it? It still came out to $400, even with all of those things, even with the PS5 plus that. So I didn't do it. But yeah, I read Silent Hill 2 Remake is not playing well. I don't think it's Rebirth, but there was a couple other titles that like have some major issues. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and I don't remember the third.
You mean that's the game that they advertised?
Yeah, the ones they advertised were the ones.
Let me get this.
I think Rebirth was the only one that didn't have issues that they did advertisements with.
Let me get this straight. All right, so they're charging $750 for this console that you have to purchase an extra disc drive for, and if you want a disc drive, and when you play the games, they don't do the things the games are supposed to do.
They run worse. That's what you wanted, right? You wanted it to be a worse running version of the games that you already had, right? It's
they probably just like gave the PS3s like new skins and added PS5 compatibility. That's what we're dealing.
It's a very, I think, strange kind of not time, but like timeline where it's like there are people that are so bought into the Sony ecosystem at this point that you could imagine they sold dirt or rocks, they would buy it because this is not a great product and it's incredibly expensive. And I've seen so many people like defend it online.
Yeah.
And it's the most unnecessary product probably that's ever been released. I mean, I'm trying to think of like another video game product where it's like, it doesn't have any unique games, doesn't do anything better than something that's, I mean, you could buy a high-end PC that's going to run games better than PS5 Pro. So like there's nothing that makes it unique. So
yeah. So why are we spending time with this, or why is anybody buying it?
Well, because you got to play Black Ops 6 Pro on your PS5 Pro, boy. So you've been playing anything else besides Black Ops 6?
Okay, so I haven't played any Visions of Mana this week. I did jump back into Control. You know, the one thing I really do enjoy about that game is that you don't really like it. It's a pretty simple game. You know, like I go to section A over here and I shoot person B, and then I do the thing, and then I go back. I fast travel back to the hall and talk to the person that needs to be talked to. Like, it's not one of those games where like if you leave it and you come back to it after an extended amount of time, you have no idea what's going on. Like, it's a pretty simple and self-explanatory game. That being said, it does suffer from those those Remedy Games things that they do, where like the jumping, doesn't always do the jumping doesn't always do what you want it to do. Like running doesn't always do what you want it to do, and they always have that one enemy type that you can't kill, so you have to keep running from it throughout the entire game. Those are some frustrating things, but other than that, like I think I'm about 60% through now. I just been slowly chipping away at it so I can eventually get to Alan Wake 2, hopefully before the new year gets here, but we'll see. But that's my time. That's my time in the house that does the things. I forget what it's actually called, but yeah, it's okay. What about you guys though? What are you playing? Enough about me. I feel like I'm hogging the spotlight over here. Branky Poo,
we call you Spotlight Hog. That's our nickname for you. We call, hey, there's the hog over there. So if you ever hear us talking about hog, that's you.
Yeah,
you're the hog. I've been playing some Black Ops 6 like pretty much every day. That multiplayer is so great. They dropped four or five new maps since it's released for multiplayer, which is crazy. They dropped Nuketown. They dropped another one called Warhead. Then Extraction. I can't remember the names of the other ones. I will say map-wise, I don't think it's as good as the Modern Warfare 2 remake, but I'm still loving it. I've been playing a lot of Metaphor on my Steam Deck. That is great. That RPG continues to just surprised me. It's really good. I will say it's hard to get too deep into it just because it has that time system that gives me some anxiety or stress where I have to like play and do certain things every day. But still excellent game. I picked up Visions of Mana and I'm a few hours into that. I just got my
Physical or
third-party member.
digital? Physical or digital?
Digital. I don't own any physical games anymore, man. I mean, I own some like Switch stuff, I guess, but not any disc-based games anymore. I probably should have picked it up. Is it a pretty cool box or anything? Or
that's a pretty cool box. It's if you go physical on anything, you want to do the JRPGs because those are the ones that hold value. Like look at Yeez is already going for about $100 online. So I mean, those are the ones that people want.
Yeah, the problem is I want to play it on Xbox, and I don't feel like those physical games hold value. Maybe they will because they're going to be so rare, but like
not the Xbox ones.
I feel like you have to buy the PS5 copies, right?
None of the Xbox games hold value. It's like it literally does not matter what it is; it will not hold value because there's no game in there. It's basically just a disc that unlocks content online.
Well, the PlayStation, same exact thing for this generation. Like it's just a installer, and then it just checks the license. Anyways, yeah, I mean, if I would have been smart, I would have got the Visions of Mana Collector's Edition because I'm like looking at a super dope version online. But I didn't even see it. I didn't even see the Collector's Edition announced, so I didn't even know they had one. But yeah, Visions of Mana is great. Are you liking it so far? I don't know how far you are, but I'm still in the end of chapter 1.
Okay, so I'm in there are some long chapters in this game. I'm on chapter 2 and I just got into the third city. Like I went across. Have you gone across the ocean yet?
No, I haven't. Okay. Is that where chapter 2 starts or?
That's yeah, chapter 2 starts on the other side of the ocean. So
okay.
Get there. But yeah, so I crossed the ocean and now I'm heading towards this like new area. But I'm trying to do like the one thing I don't like about this game is that the side quests, like they don't do there's nothing that indicates the side quests are now open. You just happen to like walk by somebody and there's an little exclamation mark. You're like, oh, a side quest. And then you look on your map, all of a sudden there's like 10 side quests that you can go do. That's the one thing I don't like about this. Whereas like Square's other games, Final Fantasy, for instance, like you can do the side quests anytime you want to. There's no trigger that unlocks them.
Yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed just how simple it is. It's very much like a Super Nintendo RPG, right? Like that's the thing that I've enjoyed is just going back to the simplicity of things. And with the final game I've been playing that I should bring up is I picked up Mario and Luigi Brothership. Do you guys know that one?
Yes, just came out.
Yeah, so I was playing that when you guys were recording. I was doing the Lord's work and playing the new games. No, I've been playing that. It's good. It's also a really simple RPG. There's issues with it. There's a lot of dialogue, but I think it was IGN who gave it a 5. What are they smoking? They give Dragon Age Veilguard a 9, and they gave Mario and Luigi Brothership a 5, which, I mean, that game's a 7. Mario and Luigi Brothership is a 7. It's a great, fun time. It's not the greatest RPG ever, but it's those games. If you play them right, they're like pretty simple RPGs with good action-based mechanics in the middle of them. So like you hit, your A button when you're about to land a jump attack, or your A button to do another hammer attack. There's just a lot of neat things about it. But I love the Mario and Luigi series. So there's some real misses in there, but the good ones are really good. The Mario RPG series as a whole, I think, is always the best ones are really, really good.
Yeah, I was curious about that. Like I did read IGN's review and I don't trust IGN hardly ever. So I was curious. I knew that you were going to play it. So I was curious as well.
Yeah, it's good. I would just say if you get it, if you want a game where you're going to do something else while playing it. I know that's a weird qualifier and a weird praise, if you will, because I'm saying that as a praise. But like if you're watching a movie or doing something and you want to play a game handheld on Switch, Mario and Luigi is phenomenal. But I will say there is still a bit of there's a lack of brevity. The dialogue is incredibly verbose and boring at times. So that stuff is not the best. But you keep unlocking stuff, at least where I'm in the game. I feel like I'm 8 or 10 hours in and I keep unlocking different things as I play. So it's always pretty exciting on that way. But I like it, man. I'm going to keep playing it. I don't know where I'm going to get with any of these games. This time of the year, I generally don't finish a lot of games. This is the time of the year where like I keep buying stuff as it goes on sale. And then I never finish anything. But I will say with like Assassin's Creed Shadows getting moved out of the year, Dragon Age Veilguard not being the game that I was hoping for, and Star Wars Outlaws also not being that great. Like, there's way less games this year that I'm excited to pick up, right? That aren't like big RPGs, and I have too many of those, so I'm not picking up any more of those until I start finishing a few of the ones I have.
I'm so glad Cool Bro's in the chat right now.
Dude, I love Cool Bro, man. We've been hoping you'd be here, man.
Yeah. Anyways, Cool
Gerald,
Bro. Good.
You been playing anything?
30 minutes a night on Call of Duty Blobs right now. But
did you finish the campaign or no?
No, not yet. I'm about where Josh is right now. Again, I'm just trying to take my time.
Okay.
I'm having fun with it. Yeah, that's what I thought. JSJ. Yeah, he said he left already. Cool Bro did. I'm having fun with it. I think it's really, really good. I'm so impressed. The fact that it's keeping my attention, because earlier this year I said Modern Warfare 3 I played, when it went to Gamescast, and I thought it was really, really boring.
Oh, the campaign. I didn't play 3, so
yeah, I went through got to this 3rd level, and it was just like really, really bad. Yeah.
Oh,
to me, I'm having a lot of fun with it, and yeah, absolutely, it's been a great time so far. But this week, I think if I get a chance, I know there's preparations for Black Friday, of course, all the shows and whatnot. But I'm going to try and see if I can test out, because I think Stalker 2 comes out this week.
Oh yeah, that is crazy. I forgot there's even more stuff, and we got Indie obviously in a month.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, waiting on that one. Although the fact that it wasn't nominated for Game of the Year, because I'm assuming it got sent in, they got an early copy. Whoever the judges are got a copy of it.
Yeah,
kind of concerns me that it didn't get chosen there. But that'll be.
They normally don't put December games though in for Game of the Year. I can't think of maybe.
I hope that's the case.
November, I think, because Dragon Age got nominated for something too.
Yeah, but I don't think they do December games. I don't think they've ever done December Game of the Award. I think they normally get pushed to next year. I think Cyberpunk might have been the first, December 1st or 2nd when it released in 2020. And that was the only one I think got a game December 10th. But I don't even think, I think it was next year. I think it was the 2021 Game Awards.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying Outlaws, JSJ. So, I mean,
he's enjoying Outlaws. Okay.
Yeah.
JSJ,
he said the fact that it has 2 nominations is criminal.
Is that a good criminal or
is that a good criminal or bad criminal? Yeah,
that he doesn't like it.
Yeah, because the one thing I want to know, JSJ, is if it's good and you're liking it, is the penalties for failing stealth as bad as what it sounds like, and is the stealth as bad as what it sounds like, which is like they keep resetting you back to cutscenes like old games. So whenever you get a chance, JSJ, we will look for that. I'm looking forward to that reply.
But yeah, I can't wait till Stalker 2 comes out. I want to give that a try. And I'm intimidated by Flight Simulator.
You gonna do it? You gonna how do you play? Do you have the joystick or do you just play on the controller?
I'm just gonna play on the controller. No way am I gonna buy one of those flight sticks. That's crazy, man.
You gotta buy
those guys.
You gotta buy the whole cockpit.
I'll see. We'll see. Remember the game that you used to get during the original Xbox era that came with the huge controller? Put it on
yes. I know exactly what you're talking about, but I can't remember the name. It's Steel Battalion. Steel Battalion.
Steel Battalion. Yes.
Steel Battalion. Okay. I was thinking Robotech for some reason.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
You remember Steel Battalion?
That was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say right now. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. I think that Games Pass is this year's or this holiday season. I think it's got the edge over PlayStation and Nintendo. So
yeah, I mean, the hard part with Game Pass versus those other things is PlayStation doesn't really ever put any first party big titles into their PS Plus, and Nintendo only puts old school things. But yeah, Game Pass just overall Xbox I think has the best first party lineup, which I mean we're going to talk about the Game Awards soon, but doesn't seem to be reflected in the Game Award stuff. But that being said, there is a bias on the internet and media and critics against Xbox in favor of PlayStation. So it didn't surprise me too much to see pretty much no Xbox love.
Now, JSJ, one of those nominations for Outlaws is innovation in accessibility. So
yeah, so that's kind of like one of the ones where it's like, hey, did they make sure they have the colors and all the things that are helpful for people? That stuff, I think
it's not like it's game of the year or anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was the same one that Dragon Age Veilguard got, was the accessibility one. That's the nomination. Yeah, I felt like it was an area where people were just like, hey, I'm actually surprised they didn't put Outlaws and Dragon Age Veilguard in the social impact category. Because that's like the one where it's about like, hey, social. That to me, it's like, okay, hey, if you want to do stuff and put it there. That's the thing that but they didn't put it there, which was strange. So, like Neva's there and I don't know. Neva's like cool, but Neva sounds to me like it's like
I was curious about what that was. I don't
Neva. Oh, it's from the people who did Gree, if you know, or Grease, the gray black and white indie game from like a while ago. It's very beautiful, very artistic.
Yeah.
But it's Fern Gully style things, right? Like, don't be bad to nature, nature will come up. That same story that we've seen millions and millions and millions of times is what Neva does. Whereas like I think the other ones would have done. Just real quick, just because you mentioned Stalker 2, Gerald. Guess how big Stalker 2 is going to be, though? Just in terms of space it's going to use on your Xbox.
I'm going to say, what, 200?
150 gigs, man.
Wow.
150.
A lot.
I'm so tired of this. I'm like, I've almost purchased the 2 terabyte SSD install chip for the Xbox Series X multiple times because it's dropped to 200 now. But it's just hard to be like, let me spend $200 on something that just makes me not have to move stuff around as much. But I'm getting so tired of how big games are and how much management of my hard drive space is like nowadays. It's crazy.
I was telling Gerald last week, I'm gonna have to go out and finally cave and buy one of those portable hard drives that come onto the Xboxes.
They don't work for the modern games.
They don't, because the Seagate ones don't work anymore.
No. Well, the Seagate, so the expensive small ones like the the NVMe SSD. So I have the 1 terabyte. That's as low as $100 right now, right? The 2 terabyte just dropped to $200. But the traditional hard drive, the one where you can buy $50 to $100 for 4 terabytes, those only play Xbox One and older games. And they don't get any of the new bonus features, right? So if you want to use that, you're not going to get the extra fast load speeds or anything like that. So
robbery is what this is.
Yeah, just know that you need to you realistically want to buy the one made for the Series X, because otherwise you're going to be in the same boat you're in. And I mean, it's cool that they have the Seagate ones for just like, hey, if you have a bunch of Xbox One games, but it's less exciting when you're not getting the quick resume and all the functionality that you should have. Hey, quick resume works, but I mean the speeds that you're not getting. So
yeah, right. All right, hey, real quick before we move on, me and Gerald kind of been talking a little bit about Black Friday. So here's some stuff right now that is available. Black Friday deals on Amazon. They got a few good ones here. They got Madden 25 is 50% off.
PS5 Pro $100. So just buy that.
That's the deal we've all been looking for. We have Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. If you missed out on that one, it's $20.
It's already $20 today. You can just buy it today if you want for $20.
That's right. God of War has dropped down to $40. Moving on to Best Buy here, you can get the Prince of Persia: Lost Crown Standard Edition for $20. So that's $20 off. Let's see, we got Tomb Raider Remastered. So that's 1, 2, and 3. For $20. Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Mirage are both $20, and Far Cry is $15. And then on GameStop we have Mortal Kombat for $30, and Hellboy Web of Weird. I might actually pick that one up for $30, and that's kind of that. Those are the biggies right now, but I'm sure there's gonna be more stuff rolling out here.
They're keeping everything close to the vest, because you notice when I go to BlackFriday.com, I don't see Walmart or GameStop with their Black Friday deals. It's just pre-Black Friday stuff. So
so I'm sure we'll hear more.
And not only that, like Black Friday starts so early nowadays, right? I think it's I don't know if it starts Sunday, but I think the best deal that I saw was Tears of the Kingdom, last year's Game of the Year. And I don't care if it got Game of the Year or not; it is the Game of the Year. It is going to be on sale, I think, for $30 or $40. $40 at Target, but probably as low as $30. And that was retailing for $70, and it's a Nintendo title. That's actually like, hey, if you're buying a physical Nintendo games or you want anything, that's one to look at, right? Because that's one that, every Ubisoft game, right? We talked about Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. That's probably going to be free here soon on some service or whatever, right? Most of them are. Nintendo games don't drop. So it's worth considering, like, if that's a game that you're interested in picking that one up.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, and I'm sure we'll talk about there'll be more stuff next week we can talk about too, as we are going to be on the week of Thanksgiving. So I'm sure we'll see more sales popping up, and I'll probably have a good idea about things that I might be picking up over the week too. But yeah, so let's jump into our Concord update, right? Okay, you ready for this, Gerald?
I am. I told you I was already prepped for it. So
okay, so today we have the lowest one is $40 for Concord, but there is some good news, as there was somebody that paid 100 and no, where was that? That was back more. Yeah, we have one that sold for $52. That was
yeah,
yesterday.
it's 47 is the high for a sealed. So
yes,
that's why you're best for the long haul, my friends.
I mean, you're still what, $7-8 over what you paid for it. So
yeah,
there's that.
Well, hey, what's the PS Portal 20th anniversary going for, Josh? Give me the eBay numbers. I need to know.
Portal 20th anniversary.
Yeah.
Here we go. Numbers coming in right now. We have so it's going for a high right now of $351, and that was November 11th. That was last week.
It's a little bit of a bummer.
Okay, so the last one sold on the 15th for $330.
Oh, that sucks. Okay, so
remind me, what did you pay for it?
I paid $210 or something like that, but the thing is, like, I was hoping it was going to be worth a decent profit margin.
Well, I mean, they're not readily available on store shelves, so I mean, if I were you, I'd wait until at least January before I did something with it, because it's already gone up in price, and I'm sure if they're not going to be making any more of it.
It was selling for about 500 when it came out, no one could get it. It was going for about 500 at that time, was what I saw a lot of the prices. Now I've seen them drop a lot. So I'm curious, if I keep waiting, if they're just going to keep dropping, right? But I don't know how many of these like $400 ones are going to move or not. And I don't know what eBay and all these other storefronts take. I think it's like 15 to 30%. So,
yeah. So here's one that actually had bids on it. Like, I think let's see, what did the bids start out at? So this one sold for $305.
Okay.
And the bids started, so had 20 bids, and the lowest bid was
left us in suspense there, Jank.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
It's there's no he's speechless. Okay, Gerald, there's no way you could even talk about this.
Yes.
This is the most exciting
thing. It was
thing
that low. Man. Are you with us, Jank?
Yeah,
I'm back.
We can yeah, we can.
Okay, sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. My we had a big storm today, so internet's been in and out. It started out $105 and sold for $351 at 20 bids. So I mean, that's not bad, man.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping it was going to sell for $4,500, but we'll see. I'll figure this out, because with all the sales and shipping, if you sell for $350, you're lucky if you turn $100 profit. You might get 80.
Well, that's
on
eBay. You charge them for shipping.
Oh yeah, I guess you could do that. So I mean, but still, you don't charge them for the percentage cut that eBay takes.
eBay does take a cut.
Yeah. So eBay and their cut, man. Okay, we got some stuff to do, and we don't have a ton of time.
Okay, so let's just jump into it here. We got the Game of the Year nominations were announced today. Should we just go category by category and pick it apart?
I can bring it up right here. Let me see.
Do you guys want to do all the categories though? Because there's stuff like let me see, the best esports team, esports athlete, esports game, VR. I don't feel like any of us care about any of those.
All right,
nobody cares about VR.
Yeah, nobody cares.
We can skip some things.
Oh man, if we had a bigger fan base and you said that, we would get a lot of people very angry if you said nobody cares about
I'm
VR.
joking. I do have a couple friends actually. TJ, that Josh is avid
VR people. I feel like there's no VR person who can just be like, yeah, VR is cool. I feel like if somebody likes VR, that is, you cannot say anything bad about VR, or else they're gonna they're a dog, okay? They're a pit bull. They're gonna come at your throat immediately. They are, man. Yeah, they are
diehards for sure.
If they love VR, they love it, and they are not gonna be cool with you bad mouthing it.
Which category would you guys want?
I say we start. I don't know what your list is, but I'm down to start as low as like sports racing if you guys want, or sim strategy.
You want to make our way up to game of the year? Is that what
I say we do it? Yeah.
You see it because I've got it scrolling now. Hold on, let me put it on the screen here.
So I was thinking yeah, let's do. Oh wow, they have it a little bit different. Do you want to do most anticipated game? Because that's one that's pretty interesting to talk about.
Sure, let's do it.
Okay, and survey says.
Oh, for me, that's easy. GTA 6. What are you boys thinking about?
Ooh. Well, Mass Effect is way too far off at this point. So
or not existing.
Well, GTA is. I don't even know if it's going to come out next year. But
I don't think it will too. But
that will destroy everything that you see here. Monster Hunter Wilds, Ghost of Yotei, Death Stranding 2, Metro Prime 5. Yeah, they're all destroyed. They're all up to GTA 6.
Did they name Death Stranding 2 on the beach?
Yeah, they did. Isn't it crazy that that's a most? What is this? Most anticipated. Isn't that crazy that Death Stranding 2 gotten the most anticipated? Most people did not like Death Stranding 1. How is it? Is it just because it's a Kojima game and there's like so few announced games?
Keely and Kojima are like best buds. Don't you follow their Instagram pages?
Yes,
they love each other.
They are birds of a feather.
And they must flock together.
Flocking together.
According to Billie Eilish.
Does anyone is anyone else disagreeing though that GTA 6 is gonna win?
Yeah, I think GTA 6. I'm torn. You know, we had all that talk about Ghost of Yotei, and like I loved Ghost of Tsushima, so I don't know what the.
I don't think Ghost of Yotei is gonna win though.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. But I hope that it's at least good. You know,
I hope so too. There's a few things that make me a little bit concerned about the acting and whatnot. But I'm hoping it's great. I don't know what best adaptation is like a TV show. Do you guys want to do that one? Where it's like which? Yeah, we can do that. Say what we think is going to win.
Somebody recording like what we. Hold on, I got to write down what we think is going to happen.
Okay. Here. So and the loser owes everyone $1 million each.
Just put GTA 6 as your answer every single time. Wait, Mass Effect isn't on here yet? What's up with that? Come on.
The best adaptation for a thing that doesn't exist is
not yet, although Amazon's working on it finally.
I believe it. I'll believe it when I see it. Honestly, for this, I didn't watch Arcane, so for me, the easy option is Fallout. That's just like that was such a good show. Did you guys watch it?
Arcane has been a tough. I've tried to get into it twice, and it's so good to look at, but I'm just not the world. It's hard for me to get into and stay with it through all the episodes. I know how revered it is. I know it's won awards, but I think I'm going to go with Fallout. I watched Fallout. I enjoyed Fallout.
It was great,
much more than I did the video games. Quite frankly, outside of New Vegas. So yeah, I'm going to go with Fallout.
So we're all voting for Fallout. Okay.
Okay, let's do the next one. Let's see what our next category is.
All right.
Okay.
What do you guys want to choose?
I say we do the next one up, which is multiplayer, because I actually did play quite a few of these games. Spoiler, I've read some of these. I think it's an easy one. I think the winner is going to be Helldivers 2, but Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is what I believe. For me,
I'm going to think Black Ops 6. I think this was. Helldivers 2 was the thing earlier this year, but I'm just going to go with Blob 6. I think there's going to be too much. It's so hard to overcome Blob 6, especially now that it's on Xbox as far as Games Pass. And so
Juggernaut, man.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad that I don't think Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2 is going to get like any real recognition here. I'm glad it got nominated, but it's like supposed to be awesome, and I think it's up against like really hard people in every category. So
nobody takes that franchise seriously though. Like that's the thing that kills it. It doesn't matter if the game is a knockout. Like it's like, oh, it's that one that puts out 4 games a year. You know,
and that's not their fault. That's the IP holder, right? They allow every single person on Earth to put out whatever they want. So half of it's trash. Or more
And
than
this one is a really good one. I'm surprised it didn't get nominated for Game of the Year as far as Warhammer. There's so much love and so much appreciation for this one. I agree with you guys.
I think on a lot of people's like short lists, if you call them that, right? Like there will be a lot of people who talk about it, but yeah. All right, so the next one's what? Sports racing. We can do this. I mean, I don't think any of us played these, but I'm down to say it. I would guess FIFA, FC. I guess.
I'm going to go NBA 2K25. It's a pretty good effort this year. I think WWE 2K24 still has some glitches, but I'd probably say for me, NBA 2K25 of the two.
Okay, hold on. NBA 2K5, Gerald. Okay, I'm gonna go outside the box here. I'm gonna say F124.
There you go. All right. F1's coming this weekend to Vegas. All right. What's next, guys?
Okay, let's do the next one up. Sim Strategy. I'm actually pretty excited for that one. Yeah, or what are you guys going to vote for? Oh, sorry. We should probably tell the audio listeners what's here. I'm sorry. I've been jumping ahead this whole time because we're visually looking at it.
Age of Mythology, Frostpunk 2, Kunitsugami, Path of the Goddess, Manor Lords, and Unicorn Overload.
Yeah, Unicorn Overlord. I'm a Unicorn Overlord boy, even though I loved Age of Mythology Retold, and I think Kunitsugami is a very neat game. Both of those are in Game Pass. So I think actually everything but Unicorn Overlord is on Game Pass. I think Manor Lords was on PC Game Pass, and Frostpunk 2 I think is also on Game Pass. I could be totally wrong, but no, it's Frostpunk 2 is on Game Pass, and I think Manor Lords is as well. So what do you guys, do you have any votes for it?
I'm on Age of Mythology. That's all I played in this category. So
okay. Gerald?
I'm going to go with Age of Mythology over Frostpunk 2.
I'm doing Unicorn Overlord, man. It's such a good game. I have it on Switch and I think also on PlayStation. Let's do Best Family. This is my favorite part. This is where we guess the best Family Guy person. So
I want the Connect game. Oh, sorry.
The Connect game is what we will choose. Okay, tell us. Who are the nominees?
Astrobot, Prince Peach Showtime, Super Mario Party Jamboree, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, and The Plucky Squire.
Josh, Jank, you go first.
Ooh, I'm gonna Astrobot. That's where I'm at right now.
Astrobot. Gerald?
I'm going with Astrobot because stacking up chairs never looked really exciting to me, and I have a Switch.
Yeah, I like Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. I had a lot of fun. Astrobot is like one of my favorite games this year.
The one Plucky Squire is very disappointing. Is the Plucky Squire. It looks so good.
Yep.
But yes, I watched a couple hours of it, and I'm like, man,
I bought it, and I still can't convince myself to play it. It's it's disappointing. Okay, so where we got next? Best fighting. I don't think a lot of us play fighting games, but here, let us know who got nominated.
Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, which comes highly recommended to me. Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics, Multiverses, which a solid game, but Warner Brothers says they've lost hundreds of millions of dollars on it, and Tekken 8, which came out in January of this year. I'm going to go with the upset. I'm going to go because TJ really loves it. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
Really? Okay, I'm doing Tekken 8.
Yeah, I've only played Dragon Ball Sparking Zero on this list, so I'm going to go there too.
If Multiverses wasn't called out for losing so much money for Warner Brothers, I would have picked that one. But yeah, they were just called out in that most recent Warner Brothers Max stock report. Man, they were just like, man, it's actually a good game. Oh, well. Best fighting, best RPG. There you go. Dragon's Dogma 2, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and Metaphor Refantasio. I'm going to say Metaphor Refantasio because it is the highest rated of these that's not a remake like Final Fantasy VII. I am so disappointed that Dragon's Dogma 2 wasn't a better game and more notable.
Wait, okay. Josh, what are you thinking, man?
So I'm going to go with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth just because I have not played the others.
This is the hardest category I've played. Outside of Dragon's Dogma 2, I love the 4 other titles. I think I'm gonna have to go with Rebirth, even though I think Infinite Wealth, Metaphor, and Elden Ring are all some of the best RPGs probably that been released in like 5 years.
I refuse to vote for a DLC. I refuse.
You're not gonna be happy what's going on.
Yes, I know. Wait till we get to our game of the year. So yes, best action adventure. That's gonna. Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom, Star Wars Outlaws. I think that's the one that got JSJ mad. Yeah. Silent Hill 2, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, and Astrobot.
I mean, for me, it's easy. It's Astrobot again.
Yeah.
I mean, Prince of Persia Lost Crown's great, but Astrobot's just so good.
I'm gonna go with Astrobot as well. I'm really rooting for you guys. For as far as PlayStation finally going Nintendo. Ha ha! See?
Well, they're finally making games that are different from, or they made a game that is different from the game they've been making over and over and over again. That it's not a live service game, I should say, because they tried that. Yeah.
So we have action adventure we were just in, right?
Yeah, so we got action.
Yeah, okay. Tell me the difference again.
I know it's the stupidest
thing ever.
One
has adventures and the other doesn't.
It's no adventuring at all in this.
Yeah.
Black Myth Wukong, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Stellar Blade, and Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. And again, like you guys said, Warhammer, game that deserves a lot of love and who's probably not going to get any in at the Game Awards. So I'm going to say, do we go with Blob 6 because the fact it's the best Call of Duty in a long time, guys? But it didn't even get voted for Game of the Year. Spoilers. So
yeah, it's hard.
I'm gonna say Black Myth Wukong because it's the only one here.
Yeah, I want to give my vote there too.
I'm gonna do Stellar Blade. I really love Stellar Blade. It's gonna not get it, but I love that game.
It's the only one that's been nominated for Game of the Year in that group. So that's the reason why I'm picking it. Let me see. We are going to. Well, you don't want VR.
Let's skip VR, AR, and mobile. We don't need that.
Who plays games on their mobile?
We can do indie. We can do the 2 indie ones. They're both fun.
I was gonna get everybody mad as again. Animal Well, Balatro, Manor Lords, Pacific Drive, The Plucky Squire. Pacific Drive is really underrated, in my opinion. But Balatro, I wouldn't give it to Balatro. Again, that's the only one that is in the Game of the Year.
Wait. We didn't get a go there.
Sorry.
You're good. But I'm just trying to real quick think. I mean, for me, for indie, it's gonna be Animal Well. But it's because I love that and I didn't play the other 4. So, I mean, I played some of Plucky Squire, but I fell off and it's not good. The other 3 I didn't really play. Did you play, Josh?
I didn't play any of these. So
okay.
I'm gonna refrain from voting on this one.
Okay.
All right. Next one after best independent game as opposed to best debut independent game. It has again Animal Well, Balatro, this time Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, Neva, and UFO 50.
I'm doing UFO 50 all day, every day. That game should be nominated for Game of the Year. It is the biggest achievement I've maybe ever played because of just what it is. It is like the craziest work of art ever. If anybody gets a chance to play it, I think it's $25. It has 50 games.
It's the 5th ranked game of the year on Metacritic.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. It's not. Anyways, I don't want to spoil stuff, but it is. There's just nothing else kind of like it that exists.
Sorry, which one was that? Animal Well?
UFO 50.
UFO 50.
Okay.
Yeah, Animal Well's incredible too. It's a very good game, but I mean, we've played Fez and other games that exist. I haven't played a 50 collection game where it tells a story and they're all connected to each other and the games a lot of them are very good ever. It's $25. It's a crazy package.
Okay. All right.
So what are you thinking, Josh?
Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, because that's the only one here that I have actually played. So
did you like it?
I was all right. I mean, I didn't enjoy it, but I played it because I heard them talking about it on the Nextlander podcast. I was like, I'll check it out.
I'll go with Balatro again because it's the only one that's listed as a Game of the Year candidate.
Yeah, I mean, that's a smart way of doing it. We can skip. I say we skip ongoing, impact, innovation.
Oh, you want to see us best community support? And then disagree with that one?
Do you guys want to do best performance though? That's the only one where I don't know if we've played all these games. I know I haven't played all of them, but we can definitely try it.
Brianna White, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Hannah Tell, Life is Strange Double Exposure. Humberly Gonzalez, Star Wars Outlaws. Luke Roberts, Silent Hill 2. And Melina Jurgens in Sensuinua Saga Hellblade 2.
Janky, what are you thinking?
I'm gonna do Melina Jurgens. I didn't finish the game, but the acting in that game is superb.
Every word that Josh just said, you can double for me. Didn't finish. Even told Microsoft on a vote I was going to finish because they kept me up as a, how are you liking it as far as a survey type deal. Mm-hmm. I said I was going to finish. I never did. But her performance is really, really good.
I'm going to go with Brianna White. I loved Aerith. I thought Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, all of the voice acting was outstanding. I've heard Silent Hill 2 is like crazy good for whatever the character's name is. But and then we got a couple more before. Should we do best score in music? Yeah, we probably should.
I would see. Let's see best. Can I see best audio?
Yeah,
real quick. Yeah. Astrobot, Call of Duty Black Ops, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Senua Saga, Hellblade 2, and Silent Hill 2.
This is a stacked category. My goodness. Like all of these games have such, I haven't played Silent Hill 2, but the other four have like some of the best audio design I've ever heard in gaming. Yeah. Like Senua Saga is like insane. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is like kind of masterful. Astrobot is less like, I think that's the only one where I'd be like, wow, it's great, but it's not incredible. And then obviously all the Call of Duty games, like they spend so much time on the guns, on the voice acting, every single bit of it.
But did you spend the extra $20?
No, wait, what?
That was an extra DLC pack for the better sound. You had to click the box.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yes. No, okay, well, it gets disqualified then.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Disqualify that. I'm going with Senua's just for that fact. So what you got, Josh?
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Rebirth's for me too as well.
I'm going to go with Senua's because, again, for me, listening on, it was.
I mean, Senua Saga, I am not going to argue with you. It's like one of the craziest sound design games I've ever played.
Graphics, acting, sound, great.
That's what it is.
Great,
yeah.
great.
Game, it's not
Playing
fun.
The game. Let's move on.
Yeah.
All right. Best score in music right here. Astrobot, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor for Fantasio, Silent Hill 2, and Stellar Blade.
Janky, where you going?
I'm gonna do Final Fantasy again.
Yeah, I'm a Rebirth boy. It honestly, like, I had a lot of issues with remake. Rebirth is incredible, so I think it deserves it. Its audio is just insane in that game. All the music, all the stuff. It's so good.
I guess I'm gonna go with you guys on that one. Although I'm really not in love with voting or approving a Rebirth, anything other than like a remake. They have a remake. That's the thing. They should have a remake or.
Oh, you mean an actual remake of the game? That's
not
like a weird
category.
Thing?
They should have a category for that.
Oh, okay.
There's enough games that come out over the course of the year that are remade, reimagined.
I will say Rebirth, it doesn't play like the original. I mean, Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth, I don't want to get too deep into it, but they're not at all like the original source material.
But is
outside
it a
of the
really,
characters
truly 100% new game?
I mean, there is so much new stuff there, and like depending on what they decide to do with the story in the third part, it might be a totally new game. Like that's the thing we don't know. Like there's some weird stuff going on, but yeah, it's a weird one. I normally would agree with you though. Like Resident Evil 4 remake, all the other ones they added a bit, changed a bit. This one is like a total. There's nothing. It's nothing like the original in a lot of ways. I mean, they changed huge parts
it's
too.
a completely different game, I think.
Yeah.
Best art direction, aka what? Best? Is that they can't? This can't
graphics,
be like best
right?
graphics. Yeah, but it can't be like best graphics because Senua's would be in here.
Yeah,
so,
Senua's would have been in best graphics. They should have a graphics performance area, right? Because that to me would have been very interesting because there's so many games that push graphical fidelity every year. All right, so read them. Let's
Astrobot, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree, Metaphor Refantasio, and Neva.
I gotta do Astrobot. That's the only one I've played, so there's that.
So I played 4 of the 5, and I've seen a lot of Neva, which, I mean, Neva's beautiful, but it's weird. Like I think Metaphor is the most interesting looking of them, but it also has the most like cruft, and it's got some real ugliness to it. I'll probably go with Shadow of the Erd Tree, man. That I know it's a DLC. I know you guys hate that, but it is so interesting, the zones you go to. And Black Myth Wukong is also a pretty interesting like visual game, but it's just like it's a little bit of jank because it's their first AAA game.
Yeah,
I'm going with Astrobot. I like
Astrobot's.
designs.
I mean, it's incredible. The
I
design's
like
good.
the worlds. I like the worlds. I see it. You know what? When I do pick up PS5, that's the first game I'm going to play.
That is that, and the free one that comes with it is also great. The 5 hours for Astro's Playroom, incredible. I mean, Astrobot is my favorite PlayStation game this year. Like my favorite, like Sony exclusive. I mean, I guess you could say Rebirth's Sony exclusive, but I mean the only real PlayStation made game.
Oh wait, Brian, all right. Black Myth was the one you chose on the last one?
No. I chose Shadow of the Erd Tree.
Okay, Best narrative: Final Fantasy VII, Rebirth, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Metaphor, Refantasio, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, and Silent Hill 2.
Gerald, what are you thinking? I mean, it sounds like your only dog in this fight is Senua's Saga, but I don't know if you've seen enough from the others that you're like, I think I'd rather go with them.
I'm going to go with Like a Dragon in the upset personally, because I love that story. I love that character. I'm so mad at Amazon when they made Yakuza series and they didn't go all goofy and all funny.
They took out the fun.
Yes, and this again creates that fun, creates that interest. This is a weak category this year for me. I think overall, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2. I can't get into the story as much as I think that it wants to. So I don't know why it's in this category, other than the fact I think it's just a weak category overall. But I'm going to go with Like a Dragon.
For me, I'm doing Rebirth. I mean, I love Metaphor, what I played so far. It might be my favorite story by the end of the year, but Rebirth had both moments I remember and moments I could never have expected, and I love both of them. Jake?
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. Rebirth.
Yeah, the Golden Saucer moment, if you ever played the original and then you played the Rebirth, which is it's so cool.
Best game direction. Again, best game direction over graphics. I don't understand.
Yeah, this is I think for like the director, right? Like I think last year this one was Alan Wake 2, if I remember correctly, or something like that.
Yeah, it's just again, some of these categories are like, all right, whatever. Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree, and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
I'm a Rebirth boy.
I think I'm actually going to go with Astrobot, like to go against Josh just because I hate his guts. I mean, no, but just because like I want to, I mean, Astrobot to me, like out of the game, like which one had a better direction in terms of both like gameplay elements, conciseness. I mean, Astrobot, right? Like I love Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but it has a lot of issues and it's like 100-hour game. So like Astrobot to me is like that perfect, like, hey, the director was in there cutting what needed to be cut. And it made a phenomenal game. We could say similar things about Erd Tree as well.
I'm going to go with Astrobot because I just like what I see. Yeah. I like the time that I've spent watching and figuring out what's going on with that universe. I think that this was Sony's best made game in quite some time. Yep. And I think that they should be lauded for it, which will get us into our game of the year, guys. Hooray! Here it is. Here are the nominees: Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree, and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Okay, I'll let you guys start before I cast my vote.
But... All right, here goes nothing for me then. All right. I discounting immedially DLC. So bye-bye, Elden Ring.
Erd Tree is man, I wish you guys played it. I think you would. I'm more normally in your boat, right? I used to be in your boat a lot, but I would say Erd Tree and a few other DLCs, which I mean they're essentially expansion packs. If you remember those when we were younger.
Well, Oblivion has two amazing expansion packs, but they're expansions. They're based off of the world from the original game.
I agree with you, but I will say Erd Tree has because it is a totally different world. You're not playing in the same exact like world, right? You're in a totally different land. There's nothing takes place in the original game. So it's not like a normal DLC, right?
Should have called it Elden Ring 2.
You could have. They honestly could have. It just would have been light on content compared to the original Elden Ring.
Mm-hmm.
But I just, for me, I understand here why they decided to go with it, because I mean, this is going to be, I mean, Elden Ring was my game of the year before, like my game of all time before Tears of the Kingdom. And with this out, it's like these games, I don't even know which one I like more, like permanently.
Yeah, but you
just
mentioned
so
UFO 50. So
UFO 50 is an incredible game. Yeah, it should be. Yeah.
Which, I mean, there's a DLC that's taking the place.
But
and also
Final
Fantasy VII Rebirth is based off of Final Fantasy VII. So if
I could argue, though, UFO 50 would be a better replacement for Black Myth Wukong, though, instead of
I agree. I mean, if you're looking at scores, Metacritic scores, of course, I agree with it. But you see what I mean as far as both Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree, for me, are automatic disqualifications, because I think, however you guys said it's still based off of Final Fantasy VII.
It is, but it would be like, I'm trying to think, because I don't think I can't think of anyone's ever done a remake from a 2D game to a 3D game.
Well, I'm going with Astrobot as my game of the year.
So well, I'm Rebirth, just because, I mean, I think it is my game of the year right now. Jake?
So I am actually Astrobot right now.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Is that like both your game of the year and what you're voting for here, or guessing, or?
I'm voting for Astrobot. Like I loved Final Fantasy Rebirth, but I think I had the most fun with Astrobot.
So, and you beat Astrobot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I will agree that Astrobot I had more fun, like per hour, right? Because like Astrobot was what, 12 hours or 14 hours. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was 100 hours. And we talked at great length on this podcast how much I really struggle with the last 10 hours of the game.
Yeah.
But man, there's just very few things like it, both in terms of like content, quality, like the quality of the voice acting, the soundtrack. I mean, it has the biggest soundtrack of any game this year. It has just like these crazy deep systems. Does it have a lot of problems? Sure. Like, did I have probably more fun, more just like pure fun playing Astrobot? Yeah, just because it was shorter and they kept that brevity. That's why I chose game direction. But there are very few games I've played in my life that kind of made me feel the way that Rebirth did, where like it had that power, right? It was a game where like I couldn't wait to play it. Same with Astrobot, not discounting that, and Erd Tree, not Black Myth Wukong, but pretty much the other ones. I didn't play Balatro either, but it's I don't know. For me, it's really hard to not go with, especially because I hated Remake. I really did not like it. I thought it was a flawed game. But anyways, sorry, that's enough of my rant. I love Rebirth. But I hope, if Astrobot wins, I would not be disappointed. It's a great game, right?
Yeah. Hey, same thing with Final Fantasy, man.
Oh, I know you like that. I mean, it's not like last year. Like I got why Baldur's Gate 3 won. I don't like Baldur's Gate 3. I've tried playing it multiple times. I own 2 copies of it. I've tried multiple times. It's just not my game. It is it's a game that like, hey, doesn't care what you have to do in life. You need to play it if you want to play it. And I don't have time for games like that anymore. Rebirth is a little bit like that, but it's a lot shorter than Baldur's Gate 3. So yeah. Anyways, I'm excited. I love the Game Awards, man. I already put it in my phone. I'm excited to like sit at home and I used to have a beer, but not have a beer, but like sit at home and watch it, man, when it's going on.
You forgot to before we leave, right, Josh? You said one big announcement.
One dream prediction. What do you got?
For like what they're going to announce at the show?
For me, I'm hoping for I want to see a Halo trailer pop up of some kind.
Oh, and with a Sony PlayStation logo on it. I honestly, like, I think the next time we see it, I'm very worried that's what we're going to find is a PlayStation logo. I actually don't want to see Halo for that exact reason. Not because I like don't want PlayStation fans to ever have it. I feel like it's a weird thing, especially this early on, to give Sony every single big Xbox title. But I think that
like the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah, I think the next time we see Halo and Gears of War, it's not going to be like a fun Xbox only thing. It's going to be hey, this is on everything. And if it's the Master Chief Collection or the Gears of War trilogy, then it's almost going to be a slap in the face because the Master Chief Collection, what are they going to add that's going to make the Xbox fans happy? It's literally just going to be for PlayStation fans. So, all right. Well, anyways, I hope you're wrong, but cool. I'm always going to do my dreams, always going to be Shadows of the Empire remake. I don't know if it's ever going to happen. There's going to be that Dash Rendar coming out there with his pistol. Doing. If they made that game good, oh my goodness. They made that modern and good. It had so much fun, cool stuff about it. It will never be remade, but I love that game. Gerald, do you have any dream predictions?
Concord coming back.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh man.
Well, actually, Concord will be coming back in that Amazon anthology coming up on Amazon Prime. So yes.
Secret levels.
Everybody will want to play Concord again. The value is going to shoot right up. Everybody wins.
There you go. I knew. Simple for me. I knew Uncharted. Oh, there you go.
So, did you like 4?
4 dragged.
Uncharted
3. Uncharted 3 is my all-time favorite game. Uncharted 2 is in my top 3. Uncharted 4 wanted to, at the end, you get to an island and you're just looping around the island and stretching it out. You could see they were just stretching it out. We're just going to stretch it out because we want more games. The director was like, we need you to get 20 to 30 hours in. We need 20, 30 hours in. No matter
I drove a boat around for hours in that game.
Yeah.
So I'm further than that. I'm in the last third of the game, but I disliked it so much because it just went way too long that I don't know if I'll ever finish it. I don't think the combat's as good as they think it is. So it's not fun to like get killed and do these action pieces over and over and over again when it's like not that great of combat. So I like don't want to do it. And I think, like I said, I probably put in 14, 15, maybe even 20 hours. And I'm probably on that island you're talking about because they're just constantly this thing, and then the double cross, and the double cross, and the double cross. And yeah, it's way too long. For me, like leave Uncharted for me permanently, never make one again. But, I'm okay with one more Last of Us. But I would love to see, honestly, what I would love to see. I know I'm going to be the weirdo here. I'd love to see Jak and Daxter remake. I love the original Jak and Daxter game. That is a fun Sony. That is like Banjo-Kazooie. Give me Jak and Daxter 1 remade. I would love that game.
All right. Well, there you have it. And those are our predictions and our dreams. Will they get dashed? Or
they will not be dashed. They'll be all made whole.
Oh, yes. All right, boys. Any closing thoughts here before we shut the door on this episode of the Super BS Gamescast?
Let's keep my eye on Black Friday deals, my friends.
Oh, yeah. We'll have
back to share those deals
next week. Yeah.
All right, awesome, dudes.
All right. Peace.
Super. BS.